In 1989, Jim Greenacre of the Wilderness Canoe Association participated in a case of law that came to be known as Canoe Ontario v. Reid. The case involves the privately owned dam which impounds the Credit River at Norval and established 3 significant judgments for paddlers in Ontario. Primarily, it was concluded that the Credit River is a navigable waterway and subject to the provisions of the Navigable Waters Act. As such, the adjacent landowners did not enjoy a right to maintain fences across the river. However, it also settled any claim to the paddlers having access to private property in order to portage around the dam. Therefore, because the defendants Julian and Reid maintained ownership of both riverbanks at the site of the dam, paddlers were not entitled to intrude upon their property in order to portage around it. Instead, the portage in Norval begins considerably upstream and passes through the town in order to bypass their entire claim. The portage of perhaps 50 meters or so through the Reid property is instead more than 600 meters through scenic downtown Norval. At the confluence with Silver Creek, on River Right, and obscured by some small islands, there is a bare area eroded by foot traffic. The trail leads through the Botanical Gardens and over a footbridge to the Willow Park Ecology Center. At the end of Mary Street and behind the Willow Park Ecology Center, there is a parking lot for Norval Park that is often not used during weekends. Turn left toward the main intersection of Guelph Street with Winston Churchill Boulevard. From here, you may either turn left again in order to re-enter the river below the Winston Churchill Bridge, where there is an eddy, or proceed straight to McNabb Park, where there is not. In order to avoid this annoying portage, most outings either begin or end in Norval. And in order to make it worthwhile, we recommend starting at Terra for a 3-hour outing to Norval. Near Terra on the southeast side, there is a rough parking lot next to the bridge at the intersection of King Street with Heritage Road. As an alternative to Glen Williams Park, there is a small parkette on the opposite side of the river. It only has spaces for 5 cars, but also a large eddy for loading. A half-hour downstream from Glen Williams, the paper mill dam is directly below River Road. It is not possible to portage on River Right, where retaining walls guard remains of the barber mill. The portage on River Left is not necessary in most cases, as it is straightforward to run through the open gate on the left. However, we recommend scouting ahead of the outing to make sure there is no wood lodged in here. Remains of the Barber Dynamo, the first electrical generating plant to supply an industrial plant in North America, are located above the banks on River Left just after the railway trestle. It is an hour or less from the paper mill to Norval. A significant portion of the banks are owned by Upper Canada College and prominently posted with no trespassing signs. At least as recently as the 1990s, there was a business in Norval named Canoe Country Canada that relied on rentals specifically for the Credit River. Now it seems as if nobody ever paddles through here anymore, and I find that to be pretty disappointing considering how beautiful it is.